for some 60s in eastern New England. The dry conditions are expected to continue through most of the week with warming temperatures. Here in the Midwest, dry conditions are anticipated across the majority of the region with high pressure in control. Stray showers are possible in Ohio, southeast Indiana, and Kentucky near a dying cold front. Gusty winds are expected in the northern plains and upper Mississippi Valley, with gusts over 35 miles per hour at times. It will be warm with temperatures running 5 to 15 degrees above average. Highs will be in the 70s in the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley, and in the 70s and 80s in the plains. And that, my friends, is a brief look at the nationwide weather forecast on this Monday.
I used to get wet. I used to sweat. I used to get caught outside in the rain and snow. But now I'm warm and dry. Please don't follow me from the sky. 'Cause I get my weather from the radio.
Coming up in a few moments on this edition of First Cup, we'll have the Writer's Almanac as well as the Composer's Date Book. And CBS World News is on the way in a few minutes as well, after a look at Today in History and celebrity birthdays. And I remembered to actually download today's Today in History. I just hope I uploaded it. We'll see anyway. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more First Cup in just a moment.
I started doing pills when I got hurt. They made the pain go away. Well, some of it.
Today, about 1 in 5 Americans is living with a disability. Over 50 million people, including many of our friends and neighbors, teachers and co-workers, heroes and leaders. 20 years ago, the Americans with Disabilities Act guaranteed every person the right to live, work, and participate fully in the American experience. We've come a long way since then, and we are committed to making even more progress in the years ahead. Visit disability.gov to see how you can help.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
It's Hunger Action Month, so click share below to pass along this video and play your role in ending hunger.
And here is the Writer's Almanac for Monday. It's the 30th of September, 2013. It's the birthday of Truman Capote, born in New Orleans in 1924, moved with his mother to New York City as a child. They applied to the prestigious Trinity School, where young Truman was given an IQ test, and he scored 215, the highest in the school's history. It's the birthday of the poet W.S. Merwin, born New York City on this day, 1927, raised in Union City, New Jersey. His father was a Presbyterian minister, studied at Princeton, literature, Romance languages, and went about translating poetry from French and Spanish and Italian, also Portuguese and Latin, also Yiddish, Japanese, and Sanskrit. His collected poems of W.S. Merwin came out in May of this year. W.S. Merwin, who said, "I think there's a kind of desperate hope built into poetry now that one really wants hopelessly to save the world. One is trying to say everything that can be said for the things that one loves while there's still time. And it was on this date in 1791 Mozart's The Magic Flute premiered in Vienna at the Freihaus Theater, about a 20-minute walk from Mozart's apartment. The Magic Flute, not exactly an opera, a singspiel with some spoken dialogue, and written in German, a language once considered too lowbrow for serious opera. Mozart had been approached by Emanuel Schikaneder, who ran the opera troupe, asking him to compose the music, and Schikaneder wrote the libretto. Not a great libretto, certain chaos in it and contradictory plot elements, some slapstick comedy, some allegory. But Mozart was a Freemason, as was Schikaneder, and the libretto is full of Masonic symbolism. And so he set to work, Mozart, and he finished the overture just 2 days before the premiere. Mozart's sister-in-law, Josepha Hofer, played the role of the Queen of the Night. She was a very good singer, and so Mozart wrote more challenging music for her than for other roles which would be filled by lesser singers. Mozart was very fond of the Magic Flute and went to nearly every performance of it until his death, just about 2 months after the premiere. Today, it's one of the 3 most performed operas in the world. Here's a poem for today by W.S. Merwin, Dog Dreaming. The paws twitch in a place of chasing, where the whimper of the seeming gentle creature rings out terrible, chasing tigers. The fields are licking like torches, full of running, laced odors, bones stalking, tushed leaps, so little that is tamed, yet so much that you would find deeply familiar there. You are there often. Your very eyes, the unfathomable knowledge behind your face, the mystery of your will, appraising such carnage and triumph, standing there, strange even to yourself, and loved, and only a sleeping beast knows who you are. Dog Dreaming by W.S. Merwin from his collection Green with Beasts, published by Alfred A. Knopf, and used by permission here on the Writer's Almanac, supported by Lending Tree, where you can fill out 1 form and receive up to 5 loan offers at trylendingtree.com, NMLS 1136. And by Lumosity. Lumosity.com's daily online workouts are designed to improve memory and attention and are dedicated to helping people feel sharper, think faster, and remember more. More at Lumosity.com. Produced by Joy Biles with assistance from Kathy Roach. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.
This is the Composer's Datebook for September 23rd. I'm John Zick. If you were a member of the European nobility, the summer of 1798 was a very anxious time. A rampaging French general named Napoleon Bonaparte had crushed your armies on land, and now word had it that his fleet had escaped a British blockade. The possibility that Napoleon would control both land and sea struck terror in many a nobleman's breast. To them, Napoleon was a revolutionary boogeyman who would send them all to the guillotine. During this anxious time for Prince Nicholas Esterhazy II, his favorite composer Joseph Haydn was at work composing a Latin Mass he titled Missa in Angustiis, or Mass in the Time of Fear. It opens in the key of D minor. It's the same key employed by Mozart for the spookiest scenes in Don Giovanni, an opera that had made a big impression on Haydn at its premiere in Vienna 10 years earlier. As Haydn scholar H.C. Robbins Landon puts it, in Don Giovanni, 18th century listeners were presented with a presence of real fear, nay, terror. So when word reached the rattled princes of Europe that the British Admiral Lord Nelson had cornered and destroyed the French fleet, everyone breathed a huge sigh of relief. And coincidentally, Haydn ends his Mass in the more optimistic key of D major. First performed on today's date in 1798, Haydn's Mass soon became known as the Lord Nelson Mass, and in H.C. Robbins Landon's view stands as, arguably, Haydn's greatest single composition. Composer's Datebook is produced by APM, American Public Media, in conjunction with the American Composers Forum, reminding you that all music was once new.
Appropriate music bed for what we're facing in the United States today. That's from the movie The Final Countdown, albeit it was a different type of movie. They weren't facing a government shutdown. They were just about to send the USS Nimitz back in time, unknowingly, of course. Great movie. It's one of my guilty pleasures, as it were, from 1980 or 81 when it came out. Anyway, let's move on to celebrity birthdays for this Monday. And cue the music, and away we go.
Jim, what the hell's the matter with you? Other people have birthdays. Why are we treating yours like a funeral?
Bones, I don't want to be lectured.
Ooh, yeah. Very, very many happy reasons.
And take a look at celebrity birthdays for this Monday. And before we do so, wish to remind you that if you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday, and you share birthdays with these famous people. Wow, Barry Williams is 59. Remember he played Greg Brady on the Brady Bunch? Greg Brady is 59. Think about that. Fran Drescher, 56. Remember her from The Nanny, and what was that show she had on Nickelodeon that just got canceled? One about the divorced woman. I can't even think of it now. The one with the gay husband. Oh, I hated that show. Crystal Bernard of Wings. Woo, still looking good at 52, I hope. Monica Bellucci of The Passion of the Christ and The Matrix Reloaded. She is 49 today. And Marion Cotillard of The Dark Knight Rises is 38. And those are celebrity birthdays for this Monday. Now it's time to go back in time and find out what happened on this date in history, which we'll do so. But first, I have room for one passenger in the DeLorean. It's a time machine. Yeah, believe it or not, it is a time machine. I mean, if you're going to go back in time, you might as well do it in some style. And I have room for one passenger, and it's you, my friend. So let's do it. Turn on the time circuits, and away we go. And as we travel back in time on this date, September 30th, 1841. 1841, the stapler was patented by Samuel Slocum, but the patent was held together with a paper clip. Not a lot of confidence there in that device. The stapler on this date in 1841. I would make an Office Space joke right now, but I can't come up with a decent one. So I'll pass on that for right now. We'll have market information in just a few minutes, as well as News of the Weird right after the CBS World News Roundup. In the meantime, for more of Today in History, here's the Associated Press.
September 30th, 1946. Judgment in the German city of Nuremberg more than a year after World War II ends. That's where an international military tribunal finds nearly 24 top Nazi leaders guilty of war crimes. More than half are sentenced to death and hanged. 7 defendants get prison terms, 3 are acquitted. Hermann Göring, the Nazi Air Force chief, commits suicide before he could be executed. 1949. End of an early Cold War crisis as the last U.S. transport plane makes its run in the Berlin airlift. The American organized airlift brought millions of tons of food and fuel and other supplies to what was then